Hello, Planet Watchers. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay. I realize that I keep saying the same things, but that's what I really think when I start my IMA. Hope everybody's having a good enough life in this difficult global context. Our life as Planet Watch is very, very busy. We work hard. It's not easy, but that's what we asked for, and we're proud and happy to pursue the project and do our best. So this AMA will be probably a bit short. We've been grouping questions. There is a lot of work in progress, and that makes me think that maybe later on this AMA session should become bi-weekly, maybe. But we will not do this until we are sure we can communicate with you effectively. So maybe we should have more frequent tweets when a problem arises, and so we're going to fine-tune communication. But for the time being, I'm here to answer your questions, and we just want to make communication even more efficient than today, as anything else in PlanetWatch. So that was the introduction. Now let's get to the issues. Now, one issue which is worrying many people, and we are working hard on it, is some challenges in managing and retrieving data streams from Type 3 and Type 4 sensors. So I've been talking about this several times. I will just reiterate here the message that I gave last week. So work is in progress to test our network extensively, and once this work is completed, we will finalize our strategy to solve the problems. I'm fairly confident that we can really improve on this issue once we have finished our testing, which we plan to finish at the latest, I would say, by the end of the first week of February. So we are making progress. We are working on it. Please bear with us, because things will be solved. And okay, once again, this is a good time to remind you what PlanetWatch is about. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. So if your main concern is how many tokens you're earning, I mean, I can understand it, but let me tell you that you need to have a medium to long-term perspective with regard to your engagement with PlanetWatch. And if you can keep this perspective, I think you will be happy. I mean, I think we'll deliver what you expect, and we'll be building a great project and a great company. So my recommendation, once again, is not to get too focused on short-term events, and in particular on short-term financial return. As you know, we are not a project, we're not a mining project, we are not a financial project. So I shouldn't even say that, but let me say it. I mean, if you are looking into short-term financial gain, think again, because that's not our goal. We are into delivering medium and long-term value, and value is a comprehensive notion, right? Well, having said that, if somebody really wants to get into the math of short-term gains, I think the math will say that this person has not been doing very badly. But again, that's not my focus. It's not my concern in a way. But so it is important to us. I mean, tokens are related to data streams. So data streams are key. So tokens are important as well, of course, because it's part of our project. Is an incentive scheme. The two things are related. So there is a problem in terms of efficiency in letting streams reach us. We are working on it, and I think we are approaching a time where we can really decide how to sort things out. So just bear with us, I would say. Okay, next topic, and again, this is something that some people will be puzzled about, but I claim it is fully in line with our goals, and everything we do is in the best interest of the community and of the project. So as you know, for the time being, we had a policy so that normal people and ordinary Planet Watchers would typically buy up to 5 licenses with level 1 KYC. And if they wanted to buy more than 5, up to 100, they were asked to pass advanced KYC. So it was a bit of a longer procedure, but it was possible. and beyond 100, we will look into a relationship with you as a business. Now, we have decided to tighten up to change a little bit these rules. So as of February 4th, 6 p.m. CET, there will be a strict limit of up to 5 licenses across all types. So maybe 1 type 1, 2 type 2, 1 type 3, 1 type 4, or 2 type 4, so it makes 5, or different combinations. But in any case, 5 PlanetWatch licenses per person. This is not retroactive. We never do retroactive things. So if you, in compliance with the previous rule, had obtained 20 licenses and you're still waiting maybe for the email to buy the sensor, that's fine. We're not going to change things retroactively. But in the future, we will consider that ordinary Planet Watchers, it makes sense for them to get up to 5 licenses. Since there is a transition period, obviously, about this, we set a deadline to request activation of more than 5 licenses. If based on the previous rules you were looking to buy more than 5, there is a deadline. Please open your ticket, put your request by February 1st, 6 p.m. CET, because we will need some time to process the request, obviously. And if you are a business and you have a serious project where it makes sense to buy and deploy more than 100 sensors, we are glad to talk to you. We are happy to hear about your project, but please don't open a ticket, write an email to business@planetwatch.io. So to make a long story short, we feel that at this time it makes sense to segment the community in ordinary Planet Watchers, which can get up to 5 licenses, and potential business partners, which have projects requiring at least 100 licenses and 100 sensors. That's a policy that we will review in the future, obviously, but it's always aligned with the goal of building a balanced, relevant network sensors, which can enable us to achieve our goals, which is being relevant, generating relevant data in major cities in the world and elsewhere, without having too many data and without having too many people trying to exploit the system. So for the time being, this looks like a reasonable and useful policy. So we will communicate it and enforce it. Now, this is just a few announcements that I wanted to make today. So work in progress is progressing well. We are setting new rules about the licenses, but we are growing fast and we are working to improve PlanetWatch and the Ready Viewpoint, including shortening the delay between the time you buy a license and you get a sensor. So just a few questions which are related to the most urgent and general topics. These are recurrent questions, so maybe I should say I did talk about it last week, but okay, let me say again that we are planning to onboard new sensors. I gave a few anticipation about type 2 sensors. We are testing even sensors for the other types, and as soon as it makes sense, we will disclose the details. In fact, I might have been disclosing too early because I said I gave you a sneak peek into some new type 2s. We still need a bit of work to finalize it. The goal is still the same, namely being able to put them up for sale before the end of the quarter, but it's a challenging goal because these are new devices which need to be tested. So the answer to this question is yes, but we'll only onboard sensors which comply with our quality standards. So we will go through testing, extensive testing, and you will hear about it at the right time. Okay, that's another recurrent question, but it makes sense to clarify once again what we mean by belonging to a quarter. So if you go to our website, input your order number into our interface, and the system tells you that they belong to quarter 1 2022 batch, this means that we expect to be able to send you the email to purchase your sensor before the end of Q1 2022. Once again, for the sake of clarity, this is not the quarter when you actually purchase your license. This is the quarter when we expect your sensor to become available. Okay, so Q1 2022 means by the end of March 2022, obviously. Now, again, this is another recurrent question. Since the waiting list is very long, do you recommend or have connections or can endorse any third-party vendors? The answer is no. What I mean by that is, on one hand, let me reiterate that we are working to shorten waiting lists, not shorten the list actually, shorten delays between the time you buy a license and you can buy a sensor. That's why we are testing new sensors. That's why we are talking to manufacturers. And I'm fairly optimistic for the medium term. So yeah, we want to get these delays much shorter than today. On the other hand, I have seen, and you all know that you can sometimes see sensors which have been onboarded by PlanetWatch for sale in strange places or lots of places, eBay or elsewhere. Well, buyer beware, because on one hand, let me say once again that all the sensors that we have onboarded are very good devices. For example, Aware Element is a very good device. Kythera SenseEdge is a very good device. They're all very good devices, and they're valuable in the sense that regardless of the tokens you earn, you can learn relevant information to protect your health and your families. You can, and many people acknowledge and appreciate that. I mean, you put a Kythera Aware Element sensor, for example, in your living room. You're watching TV, your windows are closed, and you see that CO2 goes up, and then you understand that at some point it's useful to ventilate the room. So these are good devices, very effective. So it would be really a shame if you buy from a random vendor a device which is maybe not genuine, maybe second-hand, maybe faulty, or maybe it's a scam altogether. So my recommendation is you do what you want, because we never said you only have to buy from us. We never said that. So you do what you want. However, it's important to be clear on the fact that we do not endorse, we don't have any partnership with any third-party vendor. Of course, we have partnerships and good relationship with the manufacturers, but not with third-party vendors. So if you want to buy from vendors on the web, it's your call, but you run some risk of having a problem and maybe not having adequate customer support. So your call. If you buy from us, you wait long for type 1 and type 3, you wait longer, but you know who you can talk to if you have a problem. If you buy elsewhere, it might be risky. Now, this is a question about our announcement of a partnership with the city of Miami. When are we going to sign a contract? And second question, are municipalities going to purchase sensors with planets? Now, okay, let me be very clear here. So with the city of Miami, we are having high-level discussions with the mayor's office and with a number of partners, but these kind of deals are not signed overnight. So there are numbers of discussions in place, in particular regarding deployment strategies of sensors across the city. So it is progressing, but again, it's not something you sign. It does take some time to get from a decision to work with PlanetWatch into actually signing all the contracts that go with it. So things, once again, are progressing well. When it will be time to make the announcement of a contract signature, we will do it. Our municipality is going to purchase sensors with planets. Now, again, we live in the real world. In the real world, just think of, you all live somewhere, right? Most of you might live in small cities, for example. Is it realistic to ask a small city mayor to purchase planets and pay planets to a company? No, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, not. It's not yet realistic in 2022. So we for this kind of partners, we typically let them buy in fiat, because that makes the difference between making a deal or not making it. So that's the way it is, and that's the only way we can make progress at the moment. In the medium term, we will push all our partners to purchase in planets, but we have to be realistic on the time scales and on the type of partner we are talking to. So we are being pragmatic. We want cities to endorse PlanetWatch. We want city to buy data from PlanetWatch, and we are looking for the shortest path to achieve this. Now, I anticipated it was going to be kind of a short AMA, because I think there's no point in repeating what I just said in a way. So, but let me just summarize it once again. There are some challenges in the network. We are working on them, and I'm fairly confident that we can make good progress within the timescale that I announced. Bear in mind that PlanetWatch is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You bought those of you who already had a chance to be able to buy, you bought pieces of equipment, sensors, devices, which are valuable devices, which are good products, which provide relevant data to improve your lifestyle. You didn't buy a random piece of hardware that mines tokens out of nowhere. That's not what you get from PlanetWatch. From PlanetWatch, you get carefully selected devices which display relevant data to you. And on top of that, you have an incentive scheme to stream those data to us, which is a token scheme, the Planet's token scheme. So, but it's two things. It's not just a token fountain, if you see what I mean. And I recommend you keep this in mind. Okay, so everything is progressing well. I hope you are aligned with our goals. I hope you trust us. And I hope you can all keep healthy and as happy as possible. And I think 2022 will be a very, very interesting year for PlanetWatch. There are other things in the making on top of those which I have announced or hinted at. Exciting things coming up, but there's no point in giving too many spoilers too early, which is a bit of a tendency that I have, but I have to become more restrained on that, perhaps. So thank you for your attention. Keep watching the planet. 2022 will be a very interesting year. I'm pretty confident about this. Thank you. Bye-bye.